Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts are meant to give everyone a voice, a chance to speak with others who are passionate advocates for expanding the blockchain's use cases out into the world and beyond. Do you have a crypto community you would like to represent and hold open hangouts for? If so, you might find yourself on the path to owning a stake in Beyond Bitcoin. We are looking for people who care about people who want to bring others together, because crypto communities are people. Beyond Bitcoin is a movement of thinkers and doers in the crypto space. And if you feel you are one of them, reach out to beyondbitcoin@gmail.com for more information on how to debut your community's efforts to reach to the stars and beyond.
Welcome everybody to another Beyond Bitcoin Hangout. Today is Friday, May 12th, 2007, and we're joined by a bunch of people who care about blockchain technology and they want to join up and talk about it every week. Many people with projects, people who join up, just listen in and ask questions to those who have projects. But we like to open up and give people a voice. People who are the thinkers and doers in the space. Not those who are just sitting around criticizing, but those who are actually stepping up and moving forward and building things and trying to do things important, supporting projects that are important. And we also enable people who are investors in projects to join up and ask questions live to the people who have these projects and who are talking about them in the space. So we are not a pay-to-play organization like you will see throughout crypto. It doesn't make us rich as maybe based on that, but it has actually been something that we've tried to stick to as much as possible. So anybody is able to join up, and all we ask is that you consider the people who join up to these hangouts and ask them questions. Be part of this story, and let's participate in building something that's really amazing, because all of these projects are individual projects, but they also congregate into a larger, bigger whole that actually does something that any given one of them, the additive effect of all of them together, it's more of a multiplicative thing. So I love to see everybody joining up this week. We have an RSVP thread where if you have your own project, you can RSVP every week. Ask people to upvote you, especially those who know and trust and support you, to upvote you on steemit.com. Travel to the steemit.com Beyond Bitcoin tag in the community there, and you will see our RSVP thread. Post there, get your upvotes, and those who are on these hangouts, we will go from the ones that have the most upvotes and the most trust in the community to the ones who have the least upvotes and trust in the community. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not trusted, but we do try to enable people to get a gauge on how they're helping within the community that's made all of this possible. So with that said, the order for today's guest speakers is going to be PeerPlays, Zappl, Gridcoin, and Virgrow. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to step up and I'm going to say, Data Security Node, are you there and available to talk about the PeerPlays update for this week?
Absolutely.
Okay, and I see that you are joined by Crypto Prometheus, and he's probably going to answer some community questions. Is that going to be the way that this rolls?
You are correct.
All right, so I'll step back and I'll let you guys give the good news, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thank you very much, Fuzzy. Good day, everybody. My name is Jonathan Bahai. I am the president of the PeerPlays Blockchain Standards Association, the nonprofit organization which is promoting provable fair gaming via the PeerPlays blockchain project. And today is a great day. We are now at the near the end of our crowdfund, and it is going very well. Tier 1 has now completely sold out. We are approximately 40% of Tier 2 sold out. And over the course of the last week, there's been a huge upsurge taking place. I think some of you have seen that we've had numerous interviews on Coin interview. We were on Block Talk shortly after Dan last week. We were we were interviewed on Token Market. That was a podcast with Gavin Knight. And there's also been numerous publications that have come out over the course of the last week. And yeah, things have been really hopping. So it's exciting to see. We also had the team in Amsterdam head on over to Brussels to attend the keynote gala dinner. That was Michael, along with Daniel, who is our process manager. And that went very well. And let's see. So over the course of the last week, we've been getting lots of inquiries, new supporters. We're up to, you know what? Let me give you an accurate number. Hold on one second. Yes, just as I suspected, we're up to over 1,400 contributions for this leg of the crowd sale. Now that only counts for this crowd sale. Of course, we had the pre-sale last year, which had approximately 400 supporters, and we also have the share drop, which happened with theirs. So in total, we're looking at a distribution of PeerPlays of over 10,000 holders when the blockchain launches. This is a fantastic distribution. I'm very excited about it. This means that lots of people will have PeerPlays in their hands. This means that the network is going to be well distributed, and it means that things will be in a good place to start for the Genesis block. Speaking of which, that will be what's going to be taking place over the course of the next few weeks. Following the crowd sale, which is ending in 2 days on May 14th, 1500 UTC. Following that, we'll be switching gears into net mode, where we'll be working on preparing for the launch of the PeerPlays blockchain, which will be taking place on May 30th. So over the course of the next few weeks, any of you out there who are looking to be witnesses, we've already seen a fantastic showing from some early players, people who have shown interest in the PeerPlays project earlier on that want to be witnesses. They've been coming out, they've been doing things, they've been preparing data, and it's really good to see. If you're still looking to be a witness, now's the time to rev up your computers. We are code shortly after that to allow for people to be able to start working with the testnet and also let's see. We've also been in contact with a number of exchanges have been in touch with us, and it looks like somebody's broadcasting. So we've been in contact with a number of exchanges. It looks like we got confirmation that Yumbi will be trading PPY. It looks like we have a few others. Kraken is really excited about us. We're still waiting on confirmation for a few others, but we are in talks with a number of them. So that's all good. Over the course of the next few weeks, we anticipate being able to hear more from them because, of course, we only just published information for the exchanges to be able to integrate and be able to trade PPY. So all of that's already in play. So that's all exciting. And I think that's about it. So 2 days out, it's your last chance to be able to get in on the PeerPlays crowdfund. And so far, everything's looking really awesome. One other thing I should mention is that tomorrow at, sorry, I just need to double check the time. Tomorrow at 1500 UTC time, we'll be having an Ask Me Anything with Chris Coney. Chris Coney from Cryptoversity will be hosting an Ask Me Anything with myself and Michael for the PeerPlays project. And that's going to be a kind of like a end of crowd sale kind of party. And everybody's welcome to join in and come on and be able to ask any questions they have about the PeerPlays project at that time. So that's very exciting. And that's taking place tomorrow at 1500 UTC on May 13th. And so that is the update for the PeerPlays project this week. I'd like to pass it on to Michael now, who will be able to take care of any questions. Sorry, thank you very much.
Thanks, Jonathan. Hey, everybody, this is Michael Maloney. I am the Director of Intelligence at the PBSA. I just wanted to mention a couple real quick things before I answer any questions. For PeerPlays witnesses, anyone who's familiar with or has run for or actually operated a BitShares witness, it will be second nature for you when the blockchain launches. What I mean by that is that we're launching with, as we've mentioned many times before, a sort of template version of the MIT licensed graphene toolkit, upon which code will be continually released, and the witnesses of the PeerPlays blockchain fork that code in and make the magic happen, as it were. So, in essence, the repository itself, for the most part, this is the repository sans the Genesis block, is available on our public GitHub repository, which is PBSA GitHub. Hold on, I can find the exact address here. Okay, I put it in the sidebar there, github.com/PBSA. So, that's got the a test net that's rated right now. That for exchange integration specifically, but it also has the code that witness nodes can run and get familiar with. There's also a Python library on there as well for interacting with the core code base in various different ways. A whole bunch of tools on there. So this is the Genesis block. The initial settings in the Genesis block will be recommended initial settings. A bulletin will be produced and provided in about a week or so, which will have that, and it of course will have the addresses of the Genesis block, so everyone can do their final check, and any cryptographicable discrepancies can be dealt with if there happen to be any, but we don't expect any. But it's a sort of transparency measure that is taken to prevent any mishaps as the launch of the blockchain, as it were, once everything goes live. So that is, So I just want to mention those two things, but let me dip down here in the comments and see if there's any questions.
I'll read it off for you.
About the initial amount of RAM required for the witnesses.
I think, so Jonathan answered that question. You could, he said that 16 gigabytes should be until we get closer to launching, or until we get closer to publishing the code for the decentralized sports betting exchange, which is will actually likely have its own testnet that runs parallel to the live PeerPlays blockchain, so that the code can be tested. We're BetaNet. Public BetaNet won't be for perhaps another 3 months, but the themselves will be able to get familiar with the nature of the complex machine that they'll be voluntarily operating as witness nodes, and that will, of course, coincide with the point in which the hardware requirements for witnesses will grow. Naturally, the recommendation and sort of the what follows is that witnesses should receive an increase in pay. That would be a recommendation. The nature of what's involved to operate something of this, sophistication may require an average person, and by average I mean quite a bit above average, to take a good 30, 40 hour, perhaps 50 hour week when the exchange is fully up and running and operational. So perhaps even teams in the future, depending on how sophisticated it becomes. And in that regard, understanding the nature of everything that's going on as a active PeerPlays witness of the sports betting exchange software being available, everyone will have a few months on the testnet to get familiar with the nature of what it is that's going on, and so naturally, if that makes sense, Tom. So I just wanted to share that.
Okay, thank you. I am kind of curious about the overall role. I need to investigate further. I've been so busy, but I'm ready to go technically. It's a matter of the other aspects, the gaming aspects. I've got a partner here locally that's going to help me out with this if I can get him enticed, and I've already pitched it to him. He sounds pretty good. He's such a big, huge sports fanatic. I think he would be a great addition to helping this out.
Yeah, the opportunities here are going to be quite multifaceted. The idea that you just mentioned having, as I mentioned, teams or someone who partners together. I don't think any of us who are doing, a lot of work in this space is doing it without teams and partnership. In that regard, it'll be beneficial, absolutely. But I think in general, just to sort of elaborate further on the witness, tool side of it, the development of good tools is going to be part of part of the work that's funded by PBSA, but also potentially part of work that witnesses are performing on their own. If such time occurs that the PPY voting holders are looking at witnesses and scrutinizing and saying, it's going to be competitive, I guess is what I'm getting at. Everyone who's, I think, run a witness on a delegated proof of stake chain knows that. There's, the competitive nature, I guess, perhaps you could say is a little more political than just simply I'm running this much hardware, this is my record, etc. But in general, if you can't keep up, then you're going to get voted out. So that's the biggest concern for most people that are legitimately looking to become a witness. But in any case, that's a few more thoughts on that.
So this is going to be an active full-time job, essentially, is running this witness, as opposed to many of the other witnesses in various other chains.
Yes, that's being very closely familiar with the logistics, that will be involved, and anyone who can sort of use their imagination and is familiar with the general outline that I've expressed a number of times as to the sort of oracleized nature of how the data will be managed. You can kind of extrapolate the amount of work that will involve. Now, and many tools are being developed to streamline the consensus side of it. Of course, will be something that there will be. We have, particularly for the system that we're developing tools for, a number of analysts that are working full time on it. However, as we all know in the decentralized nature of any of these technologies that the more minds, the better. Someone might be sitting, halfway across the world and not have anything to do with the behind it and still be able to contribute. So, we can't underestimate that. Everyone's going to be incentivized to be involved who has any PPY tokens or who is, interested in advancing the cause of provably fair gaming on the blockchain. So,
like I said in the chat, gaming encompasses a lot of different services that the witnesses are going to have. It's a pretty big field, and that's going to be a big deal. I'm loving the fact that you guys are getting so much support. I'm watching your Telegram grow. All these people are very interested in it. So
let me leave real quick because I want to move. I just want to leave with a little sort of preview about what we've got coming, down the line here. We've got, I've mentioned before, obviously the sports betting prediction market. The back end of that, of course, will be released as the witness testnet, and the front end will be an application called Bookie, which we've got a website that gives a little info on that right now at bookie.exchange. Excuse me. We have PeerPlays 8, which we mentioned a few times. This is going to be a Unity-based client. So we've begun to develop a Unity API for the core graphene toolkit and integrated that into a bunch of gaming related functions, and we're continuing to develop more of those so that the API should allow for a number of different business models that we've foreseen for people to integrate their server side games into the PeerPlays network. So that's a whole nother branch of what this technology enables and what we're working on with a team right now. And we also have I've mentioned very briefly the Citizens Lottery as well, and that's something that's coming probably next year. That's sort of a top layer thing because it's predicated on the network being used by a lot of people and familiar. There's a lot of difficulties with openly, talking about a lottery. It's a sort of a regulatory issue. So in that regard, that's still coming because the nature of it is we're developing open source software that allows for provably fair gaming interaction. And so the software will be out there. Of course, we expect it all to be utilized by the PeerPlays blockchain witnesses. We expect that. It's not under our control directly. We're simply a nonprofit organization that supports the blockchain. So, but yeah, that's a little more into.
And I hate to rehash and ask other questions that we've asked in the past too often, but I feel like it's important that we remind people of this. And Custom Miner asked here. He said, and Custom Miner is of Gridcoin, so I suspect he's planning for Gridcoin. I've got a question regarding voting for integrating new cryptocurrencies into the PeerPlays platform. Is it paid votes like you see in crypto exchanges, or is it voting like for a witness committee, just the cost of the transaction?
Right. So the integration of individual blockchains onto other blockchains is an issue that has not been resolved sort of mathematically in the space right now. There's always a gateway service. So in that regard, anyone can run a gateway service. A lot of people are figuring out how to do this. It's a growing industry. That's evidenced by the number of cryptocurrency exchanges there are out there. Between 70 and 100. The last time we checked and sort of did a survey, which was not too long ago, and there's continually ones being added. So the nature of the the software that's run to opt a gateway service is the BitShares API enables that. And in a very sort of seamless way. So these tokens are then represented in the wallet and held and can be wagered with, and then transferred out through the gateway service once whatever the user desires to withdraw. So that hopefully that gives a little idea of the nature of the incentivization model. Of course, gateway services can charge a small fee. So they're incentivized to continue to operate and run a quality gateway service. So yeah, yes, Custom Miner. The answer to your question is yes. Yeah, anyone who operates a gateway service. So that yes, contact them and yep.
All right. Well, we are around the time for us to end this segment, but I want to make it clear to anybody who's new here that they do join up quite often. I see them every week joining up to answer questions. So I think that you'll probably get other opportunities, but I do want to give you guys the opportunity, Data and Crypto, to inform people how they can connect with you guys, how they can work with you, and maybe, if they have any inquiries on maybe larger matters or, any number of things, how would they reach out to you?
So in order to reach us, you can go to peerplays.com, and we have multiple social media outlets, including Twitter, Facebook, Steemit. You can also join us in our Telegram group, which is a lot of activity. We're to approach close to 300 members there. That is at PeerPlays. On Twitter, it's at PeerPlays, and on Facebook, you could just search PeerPlays, and we're number one. So you could also send an email at powerup@peerplays.com. And of course, if you go to peerplays.com, there is our live support, which is always available, and usually I'm there. So those are the many ways that you can reach out to us, and that's pretty much it.
And of course, I want to make it clear to everybody that there is a PeerPlays tag on Steemit. So if you are writing about PeerPlays, you will probably have the eyeballs of people like Jonathan, aka Data, who has an account on BitShares that he probably doesn't talk about very much, but it's kind of a whale account too. So the good content will probably get upvotes from them and myself on the platform. I just want to make sure that everybody, if I see it, I will almost always guaranteed see it if it's on the Beyond Bitcoin tag as well. So make sure to add that and support our community. Share, resteam, and send it out to people who you think this stuff will resonate with, because the projects that are in this space, this is kind of like they said before, the wild west of cryptocurrencies. With cryptocurrencies. So trust is very important. I know that we try to say that it's trustless, but if we want people to have any control over things, trust is always involved. And the projects that work for trust are the ones I personally want to support. So I appreciate them joining up and asking or giving updates and answering questions from people live. And we will do this every week. So I look forward to maybe seeing you guys next week and the week after that. And let's keep on trucking. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and let's move on. Next is going to be Zappl. And Zappl is in here. They are going to be talking about Zappl. Is that correct, Zappl?
Yeah, today we'll be talking about Zappl. How's it going?
Very well. I've heard a little bit of buzz on Steemit about what you guys are doing, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but I will say that it is a Twitter kind of competitor using Steam. Is that correct?
Yeah, it'll float on the front end of Steam using Steam.js.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll step back and I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, give people some background, and get into what you're planning on doing, and maybe give everybody what you're here for.
Hello everyone, I'm the DGen Sloth. I'm the head admin, designer, and developer for the Zappl project. We are a decentralized front-end application for the Steam blockchain. So it's basically the same thing as Steemit, just in short form microblogging. Those of you who don't know what we plan on doing, we have like some select features that we will be putting into the project, like automatic tag detection and everything else. Sorry, I'm all jumbled right now. I haven't been getting a lot of sleep.
You're fine.
Some of the main launch features at the beginning will be profile feeds, main page follower feeds, category, Steam Connect login, normal login, wallet page, a promoted system, and also embedding for your post to allow Twitch in the vast majority of forms of media. Some of the other things that we're working on for the project after launch will be encrypted chat. So you'll be able to privately send messages with each other, but that won't be on blockchain level, because right now it's not a really good idea to be storing encrypted chat information on the Steam blockchain. So that'll actually be in a database. So currently right now, Zappl is trying to get all the funding that we can. We currently need about $32,000 of funding, but we decided to bump it up since we're offering 40% of Zappl shares to the public for 42,000 coins on BitShares. So right now, if you want to help fund Zappl, you're able to go on BitShares and purchase some of the coins, and on buyback of the coins, you'll probably get a premium price later on. And as far how much we've funded about 14% or 14.8% of the Zappl project. So it's going pretty well for 2-3 days of just starting funding. And some of the big people that you know in the community have already contributed to it. And if anyone has any questions, I'm welcome to them.
Well, I'll start with just one, and then I'll open it up. But my question would be, you said that there's going to be a buyback. So is there a value proposition for those who don't want to do anything but just hold them? Or is it going to be one of those things where eventually they're going to be bought back no matter what? How's that buyback mechanism going to work?
The first buyback, yeah, we do plan on buying back all the shares, because this is initially like a seed fund, I guess you could say, to fund the project itself. But yes, we will buy them back at a premium. So if during the buyback, every time one disappears from the market or a couple disappear, the value will go up. So those that are holding Zappl end will probably see the biggest profit from it. But yes, we do plan on trying to get most of the shares back, and potentially after we get all the shares back, we'll probably do like shares and profit of the site itself. So if you're holding Zappl later on, you'll actually just get a cut and we won't be buying your shares back.
What's the profit model? Where does your income come from?
The profit model comes from Steam. On HF18, they added a model that allows sites and services to be able to earn off people's posts. So at the beginning of the site, we plan to take 15 through 25% of people's posts, and then we'll use 49% of whatever the profits are after server costs and everything else.
I have questions to Zappl.
Yeah, shoot.
You mentioned that the chats which would come, and talked about it being saved in a database. Is this local storage or on a website or somewhere
There's multiple forms that we can do it. We're still playing with it, which is why we have said after the launch, that's something that will come, because we're currently talking with the community to see what the best storage solution is. I know there's ways of like a Snapchat and those that you can locally save chats to your device temporarily, and then if you leave the chat or you don't save the chat, then it'll disappear. So that's one form that we're also looking at, but there's multiple ways that we can go, because those chats will also be group chats as well. You'll have the choice of having multiple people in there. So once you start adding multiple people and more keys, it starts to get a little bit more difficult. But yeah, when we get to that point, we will be discussing that.
Okay, next question, because what you have told, I also know is on a blockchain, it's called Twister. Yeah. Did you make analysis of existing, let's say, competition like Twister or other services?
What do you mean? Like Twitter and those?
No, not Twitter. Twitter is the centralized service. I'm talking about Twister. It's what you basically said as features, yeah, for Zappl. I know from Twister. It's not Twitter, but Twister. Yeah, and I wanted to know if you have done an analysis yet of your competition, because there are open source services out there which basically, also from what you said, yeah, do the same. Yeah, so I wanted to know if you made an analysis and what is your distinction basically.
From what we've seen, projects like that, we don't really see any competition because of the models that they have. What people don't realize with the Steam network is your followers and everything go over platform that's currently on the Steam blockchain. So the biggest issue with social media these days and why people pay so much money is because they want to transfer over to a new network. On the Steam network, if you're on Steam, your followers are also on Zappl, and they're also on Steepshot. So we have a slight advantage over any person that comes into the Steam network. Well, now they're transferable to any of the networks.
Okay, yeah. I have another question. Okay, since you are on the Steam blockchain, I assume there wouldn't be scaling issues, right?
There shouldn't be scaling issues. We're currently in talks with their marketing department and everything else. Talk to the developers of the community. So if there is a scaling issue, that is particularly the problem of the blockchain itself, and that will be needed to be handled later on. But at the foreseeable future, I don't see 100,000 people showing up on Zappl day one and then just instantly start posting, but that is in the realm of possibilities.
So, real quick, you are probably aware, hold on a second here, you're probably aware of Thunderclap. Now, it seems to me that this service would be able to, you'd be able to potentially build in Thunderclaps using Steam's blockchain too, right? Or something kind of like that?
I'm not actually familiar with the project. Could someone link me to it?
Sure, but, well, and I'll describe it kind of. I hope I don't murder it, but it's the way I understand it is you can essentially add your account to a campaign, and that campaign is going to all accounts are going to shout out and basically say the same message at once. And you actually you pay for the service to get people to shout out your message, right? I think it would be a very interesting inclusion if you can do it, and I suspect that you probably can because of the Steam blockchain. But you're the best.
All that is extremely trivial 5-hour stuff to make. What he needs to make is the engine building the ship right now. Is asking for $49,000. Is almost fully funded.
Yep.
There is a buyback model in the making. Just go fucking buy those fucking samples, guys. You'll get whatever you want afterwards. But first, ship needs to be built, then ship needs to sail, and the holders will win.
Yeah, we are welcome to ideas, which you're free to share with us on our Discord and in our posts. But as it now is, we have a set of things that we're going to do for the beginning of Zappl, and after the launch of Zappl, we will, or even before, we might add some of the existing ideas that you guys want put in. But for Thunderclap and things like that, I don't know if that's something or a model that we'll go with at the beginning.
Oh no, I was just bringing it up as a possibility. I think it would be something that would be, it's something that is very powerful in the Twitter space, or a lot of the Twitter people really like to use it. But that's beside the point. Yeah, you guys do have your crowdfund, but it is almost finished. I suspect that you're going to get funded. You're actually not asking for a lot at all compared to what most
we're not trying to get rich. What people don't know is the people that are part of the team, everyone is risking their summer and low wages to get this project done in 9 weeks. Normally it would take between 14 and 16 weeks, and we're getting it done in 9, and we're doing it for half the cost. Anyone that knows React developers and React Native developers know they like to get paid a lot of money, and for a team of people to come on, including 4 designers for 2 apps and a website on launch, is amazing. And now we just need to get the funds to build the app and everything else for the rest of the 9-week period that'll be happening.
Well, Zappl, I severely doubt that you will not get the funds. So I'm going to say congratulations early on getting the funds. And I look forward to seeing it, man, because a Twitter based on Steam, this is the power of a blockchain. And you guys are expressing it in a new way, right? And these are the types of things that are going to show people how powerful blockchains are. And that is just another funnel, right? You're creating another funnel. So thank you very much. And please thank your team as well for stepping up for this project.
All right, guys. If you guys want to find me, you can find everything you need to know on our Steemit profile. Inside our posts at the bottom of them, you can find all our social media. So anything other than that, thanks.
So you say post on your post here, but if you could please just let people know, for the people who listen to this afterwards who might not be able to see actually in the chat box, can you go ahead and give people a few of those locations where they can reach you?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook. All you have to do is just look for Zappl, and you can find us on Twitter at Zappl_IO.
And that is
and you can find us on
that is spelled
ZAPPL _IO.
Beautiful, man. Well, you said you were going to say one more.
Oh yeah, and on Steemit, you can find us the same name at ZAPPL.
It's good to get that one in there, right? Well, thank you very much, man. Does anybody else have any final questions that they would like to bring up before we move to the next?
No, I just want to thank Zappl for coming. As I talked to him very early this morning and strongly suggested they come here, and it's great that they came here, and everybody with great feedback and invested in them and sending them.
Yeah, thanks for letting me come on here and speak and talk about the project and let everyone know what's going on. But as it is, I haven't been to sleep yet, so I'm going to be going to sleep now, and I hope you guys enjoy your day, and I'll sit here and listen to it as I go to sleep.
Well, I appreciate it, man, and feel free to join back up. I want to make it clear to everybody there's like a little perk system that goes along with the people who are buying into this. So please feel free to go look it up, find some information on it. We will provide links whenever I post this Hangout, and check it out. Up next today is going to be Gridcoin. They're going to be CM Steam is joining us. CM Steam, are you available, custom miner?
Hey, can you hear me all right? Yeah.
As always, perfectly, man. You've got yourself set up. So you've got some updates from the Gridcoin community. You always make these wonderful posts that I read, and it's like you are the model poster on our Hangout thread, man. So I've just got to say, you are so on point, and it's so beautiful. I'm going to let you step back. You've got everything organized. Go ahead and let everybody know what's going on.
Cool. All right. So anyone that's listening at a later date, check out my RSVP thread. As Fuzzy just said, all the links are there, so you can follow through what I'm talking about and follow through all the hyperlinks and stuff. So I'll be discussing some trading information, stuff about the Gridcoin community, and stuff about recent developments. So with regards to trading, so since my last appearance on the Beyond Bitcoin Hangout, Gridcoins have experienced new all-time high trading values. So we were previously trading at about approximately 981 satoshis, and we hit a peak of about 3,285 satoshis, which is about a difference of 335%. So this has just happened over the last 3 days on Poloniex. It's pretty crazy. We experienced I think a peak trading volume of $14 million. It was very exciting, but it seems to be stabilizing at about 2,000 satoshis at the moment, which is pretty nice. And there's buys and sells on both sides. So yeah, check that out. So other trading information stuff, we've got Gridcoin, the open.grc token on the BitShares network has been added BTS bots, which enables the automated trading of Gridcoin against all of the assets, or the vast majority of the assets on the BitShares decentralized exchange. So I've personally begun market making for many of the trading pairs, and I've written up a Steemit post regarding my experience. And I've even recently started trading open.grc for the altcap.xdr MPA, which is pretty interesting. It's a basket currency that the IMF created, but it's obviously a representation of it. But I like that. It's a pretty cool token. Right, so Poloniex, about I'd say almost a month ago, was having issues with their wallet. They had like 2 weeks of the wallet being in maintenance mode, and it's just the fact that they're such a busy exchange that they didn't get around to fixing it for a while. But now Poloniex is no longer having issues with the Gridcoin wallet. However, they have been experiencing some DDoSs recently in the last week or so. So I would implore users to use the BitShares decentralized exchange over centralized exchanges. It's you don't want your coins to be locked in, if it gets DDoS'd, or there's always the fear of, centralized exchanges, disappearing. Not to say that's going to happen with Poloniex, but it's an advantage of decentralized exchanges. You don't have to worry about that. So we've been recently marketing directly against our competitors such as Golem, Sonum, and IEX, who've actually yet to produce a single deliverable in production yet, despite their high market cap. So the TLDR of what our marketing has been against that is kind of counter marketing of why would you pay for computation that you can effectively get for free, So with regards to community updates, Nuad01 on Steemit has been promoting Gridcoin within Second Life. So Second Life's this kind of virtual reality game. It's Gridcoin location. People can come and visit and see the current prices, earn some money through a little game there, and learn about Gridcoin. So obviously they have their own centralized Linden Dollars token, but it's good to recruit new people through alternate mediums. And we're even exploring the open source virtual reality sim called OpenSim, and also Hypergrid, which connects these OpenSims. They rely on a centralized token. So if we can manage to get Gridcoin used on there, I think that'd be great. Establish ourselves as a decentralized token for trading, these goods. So we have continued holding Gridcoin community hangouts on a fortnightly basis. The next hangout is the 30th hangout on the 13th of May, which is this Saturday. So everyone's welcome to join in. It's going to last 2 or 3 hours usually, and it's at 9 p.m. GMT. So everyone come along, check it out. We're very transparent. Anyone can post, topics similar to the model that Beyond Bitcoin operates on. The Gridcoin community has held 2 chess tournaments with Gridcoin prizes for participants. There's plans for a 3rd chess tournament, so sign up before it starts, and you could be in for some Gridcoin if you're skilled at chess. A few weeks ago, we also did hold a PeerPlays tournament, and I think there are some plans for some small PeerPlays testnet tournaments again. If we can drum up some support for that, that'd be pretty cool. I'm also planning on becoming a BitShares proxy, so vote for my account, which is Custom Miner. At the moment, getting added to the known proxies list within the client is actually a manual process. So it's kind of like a static list rather than on the witness page. It's shown. Is someone got there? Anyways, yeah. So currently it's a manual process. Can someone mute? Yeah, cool. Sound. Yeah, it's a manual process at the moment. Hopefully we can get that changed, but I've applied for my custom miner account to be added to the static list. It's pretty awesome. So with regards to Gridcoin development, Moses M. Cardona, who posts regularly on Steemit, has created 2 open source tools. So the first one allows for displaying his active computation on his website, so you can monitor his ongoing computation remotely. So you can use this yourself if you're, crunching BOINC units. You want people to see specifically what you're crunching and how the progress is going on. It's actually pretty neat. The other tool that he created was an open source Steemit post integrator for websites. So this is pretty cool as well. So on his personal website, he's got his Steemit posts are being replicated to there, and I'd really implore you to follow Moses M. Cardona on Steemit, because he's always creating content and persistent at it. I have created a Steemit-backed blog called BeyondBoink.net. So I've posted, announcement threads and some updates to it. So Many of the Beyond Bitcoin community members may find themselves already featured offers on Beyond Boink. So Beyond Boink uses the Glasnost library, which was created by Onto Fractal. I'm open to suggestions for changing the website, but bear in mind that library Glasnost is currently heavily under development. It's quite in like an alpha state. Onto Fractal's, working on the back end kind of Elixir, Steemit kind of libraries, and I think we'll be seeing some updates to Glasnost in like a month or two's time or something like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I am taking applications for offership as long as you're consistently posting about like cryptocurrency, distributed computing, Gridcoin, BitShares, you're pretty much good to go. If you go into beyondboink.net and go to the bottom right, there's a link to our Telegram group for Beyond Boink, and we can talk directly about that. So there are 15 additional Gridcoin tasks being worked upon by the Gridcoin community, bringing the total to 109. So these are small tasks like tweet this or post here, to big tasks like help us a new neural network for tracking the community's distributed computation for Boink. Speaking of which, we do have a 200,000 Gridcoin bounty for improving the neural network. But basically, don't be scared of the term neural network. Effectively what it is we need to download stats from the individual Boink projects and work out who is going to get distributed how much Gridcoin effectively. And we want to scale back how many people are responsible for that task while scaling up to the full Boink community when we eventually remove the mandatory team requirement. Currently, we only reward 0.5% of the Boink community, despite being number one in the whole, the Boink leaderboards, and we've got 100,000 hosts. So it's a gigantic scaling prospect, which I'm really looking forward to. But 200,000 Gridcoin at the moment, I think it's close to $10,000. It could be about $8,000 at the moment. So if you're interested, if you know C++, check it out. That'd be pretty cool. The 8th Boink Pentathlon is underway. So Team Gridcoin is competing with 34 other Boink teams. We're crunching World Community Grid, Einstein at home, Cosmology at home, LHC at home, and I think Universe at home, but I'm not sure about that last one. So the 8th, the Boink Pentathlon itself is held by the SETI Germany community, which is a competitor Boink team. So it was really cool that they hold that every year. So we're planning on distributing additional Gridcoin to all Team Gridcoin participants for their computation during this, pentathlon period through the use of Project Rain. Effectively, you'll be proportionally rewarded for your crunching. So you've still got maybe a week left to jump in and earn some Gridcoin if you're interested. So that is the end of my what I've got to talk about. Does anyone have any questions about Gridcoin, trading, development, community stuff? Do I sleep? Not much.
You're a very busy guy, man. You get a lot of stuff done and you do it well. I do have a question, and you didn't really cover it too much here, maybe intentionally, but you did mention something about introducing a token to the PeerPlays ecosystem, and I believe that Gridcoin would be a wonderful candidate, especially with the community like you have, like you just said, you have another Boink team that is a competing Boink team. You compete to promote Boink and and Gridcoin together, essentially, which is amazing. So what are your thoughts on this? Are you guys planning on doing something with this, or am I just taking it, or are you just kind of curious about it?
Well, I held BitShares during the the share drop period, so I'm going to be receiving some PeerPlays, and I'll be definitely voting for Gridcoin to be added if that was the process. I think it's we've found out today it's going to be through the gateways, so I'll be going to OpenLedger, Ronnie, and basically asking, hey, can you work out how to integrate with PeerPlays? And we're already integrated with BitShares through the open.grc token, so hopefully it shouldn't be too big of a jump to get integrated. But I do like the idea of PeerPlays. It's a really cool prospect. Definitely. And with regards to the Boink community itself, I mean, at the moment we're quite small. Team Gridcoin, it's only 2,000 users that are actively getting rewarded, 10,000 that are in the team. So there's, a chunk of people are inactive. They come and go, computation wise. But there's 500,000 active users in the whole of the community and 4 million registered. So the goal is that when we remove the team requirement, we can hopefully start scaling to that entire community. I mean, right now we've got the roadblock of the team requirement, which prevents us, from directly communicating with many of these teams because they call out, a team poaching or whatever, and it prevents us from, expanding into the full community. But, hopefully we will be able to bring, like 100,000 users in the future to PeerPlays. That'd be pretty badass,
I still think that these projects having their own tokens, man, or would be like sub tokens within that ecosystem would be amazing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we talked about that in the, I created a 7th Boink brainstorming thread. Just basically, if you got any ideas for a Boink project, you don't need to be able to pull it off. Just say something you think would be pretty cool and we'll discuss it. Someone mentioned the fact that what if we did, a token backed project, and it's definitely possible if someone was to, perform like an ICO or whatever token distribution to fund the development of a Boink project, you would be, immediately competing with the big Boink projects like SETI at Home and World Community Grid in your capabilities. Like, do you want to create a TensorFlow cluster with like 100,000 CPUs and rent that out to people? It's definitely possible.
Well, does anybody here have any questions regarding Gridcoin? I know that Gridcoin, the community does a very good job. I know of your team. I don't even know if they're all your team, but they do a very good job of posting to about things to Steam it and to Beyond Bitcoin. They always add that Beyond Bitcoin tag, so I see it. And I'm always upvoting stuff that's quality content, updates, just various things that you guys are doing. So I know you're extremely active, at least your team is. What do you have going on with that as far as, like, how do you guys get all of those people moving?
Well, we've got our Telegram and Slack and IRC all bridged now. So if you're talking on one, you're talking to users across all 3 platforms. Each have about 100 users at any time. I think they're different users as well. So I have been, pushing the Gridcoin community to use Steam it more and more. At the beginning, it was a bit of a hurdle. Like, people were apprehensive to join. And for some users that are privacy concerned, the use of the phone number confirmation has been a little bit of a hurdle. But I think that is being changed recently, the registration mechanism. But as you said, our users are posting to Steam it, the Gridcoin tag quite regularly now. And it's worth, checking out and, following some of us, because it is quite a lot of quality information is posted there, as well as insights into Gridcoin, and we post our the Gridcoin community Hangout RSVP threads always on Steam it. So yeah, definitely.
Well, I definitely will say that I think it's stunning the point that you guys make as far as the marketing aspects and how you're starting to market what you offer, as opposed to these competitors that are really just being pumped up, I think, artificially by a bunch of people with a bunch of money. And it's because they're all in, on one platform that has a lot of seed funding and probably a lot of, big money that's coming in privately. So it's kind of interesting to see what you guys offer as compared to these competitors. And I think it's a very important thing that people recognize in the space, because there's a reason I fell in love with Gridcoin from the very beginning, and it's because you guys, it's just such a beautiful project. It's such a beautiful project. I'm waiting for the time when it pumps like Stellar, to be honest with you. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our competitors, they do have the association with Ethereum. They all did ICOs, so they've got that big fund to do large marketing schemes. Not got a lot of anything in production yet. They've got a lot of promises, but with Boink, you can pretty much use consumer off-the-shelf software and technology to put together, a distributed computation platform for whatever you're capable of implementing, rather than being limited to what their platforms are capable of. Like Golem, for example, their first deliverable is distributed video rendering, but there's already the Boink project Burp, which is capable of doing that, and it's free,
So there's no reason to pay for it whenever there's people who can do it using Boink and get paid in Gridcoin.
Yeah, effectively, if I've got like a serious amount of computation I need done, I'm not going to pay for it. I'm going to, rely on volunteers to do it, and my volunteers will get paid by the Gridcoin community.
So it's a volunteer service that you can direct your computer power to, and the roots are before cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrency layer was added on later, and all it's just it stuns me sometimes to see quality in this space. These diamonds just like completely overlooked for so long until they're not. Because that happens. That's exactly what happened. But the market seems to take so long because they get caught up in the buzz train instead of like really looking deep. But I think we're starting to see an evolution in that, and I think that's why you're starting to see a bunch of these altcoins that actually do things and actually innovate and actually accomplish things starting to pay off, right? And I think Gridcoins, you guys are setting it up perfectly, man. I hope you hit it out of the park, because not only because I'm invested in it, because I am, I won't lie, but because I really believe in the project. I think what you guys do is a beautiful thing, and all the services, everything, and anybody can join in. We're talking about defeating ASICs. We're talking about making fair distribution. Well, everybody has a frigging computer. Everybody can. Yeah. Everybody can boink and use, help find aliens or do something that they feel is more important. I personally think finding aliens may be an amazing or a terrible thing. I'm not sure. But the point still exists that this is an amazing service and a heck of a project. So thank you for continuing to give updates. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? There are a lot of people here who are very big into cryptocurrency. Do you guys know everything about Gridcoin? Do you have any questions about it? Because it's something I think people here should really consider.
I was just wondering, I seem to miss the Hangout. What time UTC is that?
I believe UTC and GMT are aligned at the moment because of daylight savings time, so it's 9 p.m. GMT. If you check out the RSVP thread, there is a clock that you can basically line up your time zone for, so you don't miss it.
Awesome, thank you.
No worries.
It's a really good idea, man.
Any other questions?
Erkin here, which, thank you, Erkin, by the way, because I see you posting all the time. He's saying that it will be on the 29th, the next Hangout.
No, it's I think it's the 30th. Sorry, no, it's tomorrow, the 13th of May.
It's tomorrow, it's the 30th, and it's in exactly 29 hours. Yeah, so if people have with time zone issues or something, just look on your clock in 29 hours.
Oh, 29 hours, my apologies. Okay, sounds good. Well, if anybody needs to reach out to you guys, how you talked about the Telegram and how they're all linked to your IRC. How do they get onto any of these?
In my RSVP post at the bottom, I've got some little square buttons that you can click. So, you've got the content for the Hangouts on the left, but Cryptocoin Talk is our main forum. If you go on to Telegram, the Telegram button there, that'll take you straight to our Telegram group. That's linked up to IRC. We've also got a separate IRC dedicated Telegram group that links up to the main. It's a bit complicated, but if you jump into the Telegram group, we'll get you started. It's not too difficult.
Sounds good. And would that be t.me/Gridcoin?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing more good updates in the future, man.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. Up next is going to be Virtual Growth, and he's going to be talking about Virgrow, which is a little asset that he's created that he digs into a bunch of different cryptocurrencies throughout the ecosystem. And though I really love his project and I would love to talk about it more, he is here to talk about it and give some updates on what he's doing with it and the various cryptocurrencies that he's working on. Virtual Growth, are you there?
Yes.
Hey, I wanted to say thank you for talking to Zappl as well, because I want to make it clear to everybody that Virtual Growth reached out to them, and he's actually the one who brought them on today. So thank you very much for bringing that awesome project on. And
I'm also the one that created the Zappl token.
Yes. Well, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that. It said a consultant, so I thought maybe you were secretive in that one. But so yes, you created the Zappl token. I'll go ahead and I'll step back and I'll let you give your updates and do your thing, man.
All right. Hello, everybody. Doing a little better this morning, so we'll be able to fly through things better. Some mornings I struggle, as some people know. But Hey, and thank you to the people, many people thanking me for all that I do. That's just what I do, I guess. Just helping out people. Thanks to Mr. Wang for giving me a shout out in his video. And he talked about name drops, and he's actually the one who partially dropped my name to Zappl. And Steam at QA is in there. He's known me in the past and other things. Worked with other people that I've known, is also in the Steam Apprentice group, for example, and does Steam Verify for people looking to have a badge to verify their profile. That's a service that they do. I'm happy to see Gridcoin getting into Second Life. I think that's a big deal for cryptocurrencies being virtual currencies to get into virtual worlds. I explored this idea in the past that some people know. When my Steam Land idea, that's going to turn into a Crypto Land idea. And if you see Gridcoin in Second Life, that's exactly the type of thing that I would be mentioning. And could even have maybe an ATM that could do transactions between blockchains. I have a script that actually does part of that. And we could possibly have a basic token for that land, and people could buy and sell it maybe through BitShares, and we could have a gateway do that. And speaking of gateways, a gateway for Viva and TradeQuick Exchange is being worked on and considered, has a bunch amount of Crown support. Then they voted for my idea as far as that. And Viva Coin is available on the BitShares as well now. It's pegged at a value of currently about $5.50, so it is offered at 550 bit USD. I set a floor at $4.95 to buy it back, because it's supposed to be within a 10% fluctuation, and that's supposed to be like a strong peg. That way it doesn't fluctuate too much. It's supposed to be a base of life. And you can check out their ICO, which is about 10 more days to May 20th. They've sold about eighth to a quarter of their crowns, currently worth 270 Viva. Viva is $5.50. You can also check out TradeQuick Exchange. On TradeQuick Exchange, you will find some of the user issue assets, included mine, XVG, which is going to be equal to Virgrow, and is also X-Wang, which is related to the Wang chains. And as far as Wang chains, if people have been watching, it's over $2,000 volume recently. Great to see Wang chains getting on the map. I've been helping them as well. A lot of us talk back to each other, and he made a video and gave me a big shout out along with others, and thank you very much to that. And thank you also to Mike Pear, who has thanked me a few times, and many others. But just to talk about Mike Pear for a moment, he's the one with Steam Factory. He approached me as a consultant as well. Some of these people have paid me in cryptocurrencies. Some other people have just given me tokens in their project. And these tokens are invested in me, and I invest in them, and we invest in each other. And to expand upon my idea of Virgrows, we have corporations in this world. I want it to be more of a co-op or a cooperation. And that cooperation, people throw around share drop ideas. Well, these are going to be inter-invested, and it's going to be more of a decentralized fund. And I'm going to do some type of sharing tokens. One of the major ones I'm going to do because of Zappl's contribution to me and other people. Great thanks also to mention to Fuzzy for being a large investor, Mr. Wang for name dropping me, Steam at QA for being there, and everything else, and for sticking, for being the big investors already, and for him showing up on the map and his presence in Steam Speak. That should be great for the project. It's moving well on its way, and we look forward to doing that. And what I'm going to do is share some of my Virgrow tokens with everybody who invests with Zappl as a big thank you, and just to overlap the ICOs and share value with each other, as I've been slowly doing my tokens, just giving them away mostly. People want to buy them. You buy in at the high end of my offer. I give them away, so people get them for free, and then people sell in between. Now, the reason I do that is kind of when you have a currency that you want to offer, it's actually offered as sort of a currency thing on TradeQuick. It's in between a currency and a fund, but it's part of the success of something is being able to have a spread. And that's one of the successes of Bitcoin. It is used in so many different economies that have high and lows, so many people are able to profit off it as it grows. And we consider volatility a bad thing, but volatility in such a manner is a good thing because there's a lot of growth that's being fluxed as it goes through these economies, and because free market is more introduced. So you're not having these controlled pegs, which means there's less control, which means there's more freedom. And that's all a great thing. Also to mention is Steam Stars. Steam Stars is by Raymond Johnstone. He had a game that he's doing with it, and he's looking for funding to do more. That's available on the counterparty. I have an account named Steam Tokens. I'm thinking of possibly doing on these various tokens, so people will be able to buy them in Steam or Steam-backed dollars and maybe other currencies, and we'll offer them at discounted prices just to get a little more exposure and give value back as another way. And I do my price updates on the Virtual Growth account, and that may extend out to the Steam Tokens account as I go into these other projects and stuff. And if you look at my feed, you'll see another thing mentioned, a healthy food game. It's something I thought about years ago. I looked at Ethereum. I looked at smart coins years before Ethereum was existed, and it was like, forget this. This is way too complicated. But with Steam and the value in the community, I'm going to start a healthy food game, kind of combine ideas of Steam It Health and Papa Pepper. So the idea will be you produce a certain amount of menu of items that you eat during the day. We're going to give a list of healthy foods to help people eat healthier, which is something I've always been about. I've helped people lose a bunch of weight and stuff. And a year and a half ago, I got meningitis. So eating healthy is very important. I'm fortunate to be alive. So that's one thing, is just make the best of it. And that's one thing I strive to do every day. And the word give is the oldest word in the linguist language. And I mention these things over and over as well. And I'm an Eagle Scout, so I try to give, lead by example, and I'm being invited to numerous areas in the communities, crypto spaces, to help lead our example and consultant feedback information. I was a businessman since my early days. I did my first card show at 14, and I was like collecting cards and stuff. I started collecting coins when I was 5, and that's evolved into collecting cryptocurrencies like a madman. But why not? It's fun, right?
Of course.
So I'll stop for a moment if anybody has any questions, feedback, or anything else.
Well, I'll just say one thing. I think that the playing cards and things like that and the trading, it was all training, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm like a master trader in that respect. The big game was Magic the Gathering. I actually had a table at pre-release shows. I used to be at a show and buying and selling cards, and I memorized all the prices for all these different things too. And I did Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And working with kids, and that's another community thing, is just helping them and giving back. And it's good to see young kids getting involved, like Steam It too at an early age, learning about these new ways to cryptocurrency and earning and whatnot, kind of like the Prophet, who I talked about. The Prophet actually had an idea of a Steam store. He actually bought a domain name for it and stuff. He's still in school, so he's a little busy. But as he gets older, and maybe even this summer, I'm going to reach out to him and see how to get him involved in something and help him out. And that is involved in the Steam Shop. And Steam Shop actually reached out to me, and that's another thing I wanted to mention. And as another mention, which is continuous of what I'm saying here, SteamPurse.io is mentioned as well recently, so watch out for that. And Steam Shop actually said to me, would you be interested in being part of this? And I said yes, of course, because I already was conveying that message. And I've been had experience in e-commerce with Amazon, eBay, my own website, and so on and so forth. And I'm looking forward to all this coming together. And I'm going to be making a post about some other stuff to look at and address, so important as I will many things. And I'll pause again.
I will pause myself.
Can we get a pause?
The fabric of the silence. The silence of the fabric.
The silence is beautiful.
It is.
I actually intentionally leave silence so people will ask whatever's on their mind, because I know many people have things on their mind, but they won't ask them until there's uncomfortable silence. It doesn't always work out because I get people playing games like Mr. Wang up here. But that's kind of the intent, because I have a lot of opinions myself, but there are a lot of people who join up and they listen in, and maybe they just want to listen live, but this is here for everybody. If they have an interest or a question or a comment that they would like to bring up about any of the projects that you're talking about or what you're working on, this is the time and place to do it.
Could I just ask a question about you said you were doing a share drop against the Zappl token? Is that going to be like a manual process, or are you going to be, creating your own transaction with, proportional holders being given a certain amount within like the one transaction?
That's going to be manual.
Cool.
I'm looking for a tool to do that in the future, because there's a lot of us looking for that and to help others. But for now, it's just a small amount.
Cool. Forward to that, mate.
Yep. And good to see you here, Beans. Looking forward to the after show with you. Just as another mention.
Well, what I will say is I think that you're 100% right on the co-op. It's difficult when you have multiple co-ops and, we kind of have to find ways for them to all work together, but it's happened, and it's a tough thing for us to do. And it's something that we don't always know the right ways, because although there are many similarities to other societal, how do we say it, structures or framings, you have people in communities that get along and work together, and they have a lot of structures, tools to work together. We are in the process of really building those tools to help these work together. So it seems like there's more chaos sometimes between projects and things that really doesn't exist in the crypto space to the degree that people might think it does. I think once we have all these tools, and with people like you who are trying to put communities together and get them working together, I think those tools will eventually exist. I hope that we work together and we bring these teams together in some way, shape, or form, at least maybe using some of the tools that we're building. I love it, Virtual Growth. I definitely respect everything that you're doing, and I love the fact that you're hooking up. You're starting to get into the point of like now you're making tokens for people and selling, that service. I would have loved to do that, but I don't have the time to do all that. All these different. Virtual Growth is one of the perfect people for like when I talk about the unique value proposition that everybody offers. Like you kind of display that, man. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's kind of in the name of virtual growth, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean the irony, yes, but it's just kind of this part of the story, that there are people. Everybody has interests, and everybody who's here has interests in this space.
Exactly.
And if you just really do what you love and you just try to empower yourself and others around those things, then
exactly.
That's what these people who are at New World Order. I don't even like using New World Order because it makes it sound crazy. Conspiracy.
I don't like it either because it's actually written on the back of a dollar bill in Latin.
That's another great reason to dislike it. But these people who want to like hold humanity back, this is what they fear, is people doing this, right? So I say keep on doing it, guys. And with that said, if there's any
comment.
Go ahead.
Oh, Richard Growth, I just wanted to mention to you that this is my first take on some of the things you do, is that you write these long blog posts and you introduce multiple things all in the same post. And I find it hard to focus on what it is you're trying to introduce when everything gets equal playing field on your marketing as far as when you're introducing the different tokens that you have. But I do want to share with you what did wake me up is that when you said leave a comment and vote for one of these, and then I voted for Virgrow, and I got a little piece of Virgrow show up in my BitShares wallet. It was at that point that I a new token just appeared in my BitShares wallet. Let me go learn about this. What is this all about? And now I can focus, you see. But it's almost like now, if I were to just give you another analogy before I'll hand the mic back over to you, it's almost like when you walk into a grocery store, right? And you'd be the store manager over there. They're saying, listen, we have these products over in produce. If you're interested in dairy, go there. We have this, we have that. And it's like, I don't know what I want. But all of a sudden, I smell somebody cooking something on one of those toaster ovens down aisle 3. And it's a sample thing, and it smells great. I'm going there, and I'm going to go buy some, and I'm going to... Yeah, and so that's what your share dropping does do for people. I know it's a manual process for you, and I think I just want to compliment you on all the hard work on manually share dropping people that you do. That is a terrific plan. So that's all I just wanted to say.
I will say 100%. That is why you get huge upvotes from me on those posts. Because as a person who's done it, people do not understand Virtual Growth, how long it takes to manually, and you occasionally will misspell one, and there's
no misspelling. You copy paste everything, never type.
That may be the way you do it, but the way we had it before, there were times when you can have it where like somebody has you pull something from a data sheet and it's been changed. You accidentally send it to somebody who's the wrong person. There's all kinds of little things that can get in the way that can make it hard. And even if it's always perfect, every time you send it's perfect, it still takes a crap ton of time that people don't realize. And I think that's really something IntelliGuy, thanks for bringing it up, man, because it's a dang good point. Does anybody...
Yeah, thank you very much, IntelliGuy, for that. And I understand it's a kind of mess of things all thrown together, but people go through and pick what you want and then explore it further, and that's what I find people doing. And when they get that token, they go, wow, thank you, and it kind of lights up, and that's a beautiful thing.
And I understand where he's coming from, but I also understand probably where you're coming from, because you have limited posts per day, so I can see that too. But I will say, if anybody wants to get a hold of you who's listening to this, and they want a token made, or maybe they want to hear about a little bit more in depth about some of the projects that you're working, how would they get in contact with you easily?
You can find me as Virtual Growth on Discord, VivaCat, Viva Coin Chat, Steemit Chat, and Gmail, and here occasionally.
Sounds good, man. Well, I will go ahead and I'll say thank you, everybody, for joining up this week. We always do this, and we're about to be upgrading things pretty big. I don't know whether we'll continue doing the Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts as a separate thing from Whale Tank. Part of me wants to do that. I might need help, because Beyond Bitcoin will not be probably once Whale Tank is out, a lot of big projects will probably start going there, since they'll get a shit ton of upvotes from really powerful whales. So I want to keep this grassroots, personally. I don't know if anybody here has that soft, sappy heart that Fuzzy has, but if you guys are interested and you want to maybe help me continue running this show, I'm looking for people to help me volunteer and maybe help post some of this stuff, because I love getting paid like I'm getting paid because I'm helping to build stuff, and it's for the first time in a long time I'm getting the money that a lot of it I paid out in the very beginning. But at the same time, if I can have a team that builds reputation by helping and starts making as much as I do on this stuff, I mean, we're creating synergy, and we could make Beyond Bitcoin still exist as a very strong grassroots thing, and then still have Whale Tank.
Synergy.
Yeah, but I want to be honest with everybody. I can't do all of that stuff because I'm kind of like Virtual Growth in a way, but I'm actually trying to hold back because I've got so many tools I would have built, and those are my main focus. But I promise you that we're going to have some stuff, and I really want to bring people on board who are interested. So if any of you guys are interested, please consider it, because I'm going to be passing out my own whale tokens at Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts, but we won't be having a bunch of whales. We won't have a whale pan